Check, check.
Five.
It's being recorded, so somebody's. Okay, so I will speak slow. All right, welcome everybody, anybody that's viewing live out there, live from Oak Harbor. It's the Thursday, June 12, 2025 Arts Commission meeting. First, we'll start off, it is 5:02. We'll start off with the roll call. Position 1, Carla. Position 2, J.R. Russell, me, Chair. Position 3, vacant. Position 4, Valerie. Present. Position 5, Cynthia.
Present.
Position 6, Tracy. Position 7, Therese, negative. Student member, Reese Wassinger. She's probably pitching or doing something, I don't know. And our ex officio council member, Chris Wigenstein, not here. Okay. So sitting in front of you is the agenda. I don't know if anyone has any additions to this. I will say that I turned around and put in the strategic plan. I had moved that originally just to move it to the end so that we can knock everything out so we get to talk about the art plan.
Is Therese the one doing the line
Who, me? No, you got to turn your mic. What's the?
Is Therese the one that's spearheading the Lionhead thing?
We'll get to the, yeah, but, yeah.
But if
We
she's
can
not
s-
here, do we need to?
Yep, we can still talk about it.
Sorry.
She's jumping ahead.
Jumping.
Hey.
Okay. With that, anybody else have any?
Nope, I'll approve agenda as presented.
Okay.
Or
So-
make a motion, I'm
ma-
sorry, make a motion to approve agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a second from Tracy, and now we will go to approval of the minutes from May 8th, our last meeting.
I did read through them before. I will make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Carla, second. All in favor? Minutes are approved. We will now move to public. Is somebody ringing in? I heard that. Oh, I should silence my phone too. I was like, okay. We'll now move to the public comment. Brooke,
Hi, would you like me to stand?
go back there, way back across the street. No, there's a microphone over there, so we can hear you.
Very good. My name is Brooke Burdick. I'm with Sherwood Community Services.
I just want to make sure, is the microphone on? Can we hear him? Okay, we're good. Go,
Good.
Brooke.
Thank you. Thank you very much for taking a few minutes to talk to me about an upcoming event at Windjammer Park on August 9th. You should have the information in front of you. Sherwood Community Services provides employment services for those with developmental disabilities. And one of our goals is to create an inclusive community where our clients feel like they're a part of the world around them. So many of them are isolated. They spend way too much time at home playing video games. We provide employment services so they have jobs to keep them going. The event on August 9th is really about bringing our awareness to the community for our services, particularly around integrating the community with our clients through art. So we have a variety of projects: drawing, rock painting, crafts. One of the most popular ones is slime decoration, which is new to me this year. And what we do is we invite service groups like the Lions Club to come in and teach the art to our clients. So there's a real good integration. We had an event in February called Paint and Create at the Coopville Rec Center. Attracted over 60 of our clients' families. And I'll tell you, I've been working with our clients for quite some time. I never saw so much focus with our clients that for like at least 90 minutes focusing on their projects. They were really engaged, and I think this is a formula that works well to bring community together through art. So I'm here I don't have a particular ask. I don't really have anything, but I just want to let you know, here we are. I'd love to have you guys involved in some way. At this event on August 9th, Dave Paul and Island County government representatives will be there to talk about the services for those with developmental disabilities. I think it's an important thing for our community. Any questions?
No, I don't. We're at the stage right now because we just had the art plan approved. So there are a lot of processes and ideas that could come together, and we don't know what they are yet.
Okay.
So we don't know what we don't know.
Okay.
But we have to find out who all the players are and then find out if there's a good fit between what the art commission would want. Is this something that we would fit in with you, and where would you fit on a priority? We don't know.
Okay.
But our plan is to start having strategic meetings and workshops, and the more people we know that we can network with, the better off we're all going to be.
That
And then we'll
sounds
find out
great.
if we're a slot for each other.
This community day is certainly not the last event we'll be offering, so we will stay in touch and let you know about what's coming up in this fall. Brian with Parks and Rec is here. Parks and Rec will be at the event to present their plans for an adaptive playground. So this is well, Brian, can you talk about that just a moment?
Sure, yeah. So we have a RFP that's going out for design and permitting for a all-inclusive play area to be put at Windjammer Park. We are kind of at the beginning of that process, but we have some conceptual designs. We hope to have maybe even have a consultant on to help with some renderings at that point, but we'll just be be there to have some conversation. I did have a question. Is there anything outside of that you have as far as a specific ask of the city?
No, I'm just kind of getting to know the city, getting to know Island County resources and so forth. I guess to answer your question, though, is we'd like participation. We'd love to have all of you there so you could hear the conversation with our Island County representatives, as well as NAS Whidbey, their Department for Exceptional Families, supporting families with those with special needs, will be there as well, and they'll be included in our program. So it's just really kind of a forum in support of those of our clients with developmental disabilities.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Tracy wants to say something.
Hi.
I wanted to say thank you. Thanks for coming and letting us know about this. And as we go forward with discussing what our plans are going to be, I'm sure that we'll have some great ideas on how we can participate.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Well, as we solidify our program, I will send a copy to Cynthia for distribution, if that would be appropriate.
Be great.
Okay.
I want to say thank you because I love this, and I did work with people with the Exceptional Academy as well at the pool. But did you ever think about reaching out to New Leaf? Have you heard of them?
The who?
New Leaf program?
Yes, we work with New Leaf. They manage our clients on NAS Whidbey.
No, that's what I was going to say. Reach out to Steve because they're awesome, and
Yeah.
we love them. 'Cause I used to rent from them, so they're awesome. So that's another outsource you can do because they have many resources within the community too as well, and they participate in a lot of the festivals and events
Yeah.
and stuff like that within the community too.
Yes, Steve and his team attended one of our events last fall, so yeah, we're great.
And I'll just say thank you very much for taking your time to come down, Brooke.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
All right,
We'll be in touch.
thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll move on to 5, discussion action presentation report items. 5A, electrical box wrapping update. I'll give you that. As you know, we were looking for bids for somebody to do it. We got a bid in. The bid was way too high, and it was absurd. So we don't have anybody that can wrap boxes. So the first plan is shot down. So looking forward on this, we've got potentially a Plan B and maybe a Plan C. Plan B would be to reach out to the schools to see if they want to paint the boxes. And I say paint the box means it's going to be 1 year and 2 years and you have to do it again. Well, in 2 years, we might be able to reach out and find somebody that can wrap the boxes. But in the meantime, they could be painted. I reached out to the schools. I sent a note to the art teachers. I have not heard back yet. I've asked to talk to them. Is that something they would like to do? Because that could be a plan forward on a Plan B. A Plan C would be kind of where Therese would be going. It was like just do a call for artists and say, okay, anybody want to paint a box for $300? We'll supply the paint. And so with this news that Plan A has fallen through.
Hey, JR?
Yeah.
Can we just get consensus? Let's just have a discussion on that and just make sure we have consensus on that. So we had one bid.
Oh,
was
I'm
submitted
sorry, yeah.
For $11,586.70 that would provide wraps for 4 electrical boxes. That was the one bid that we got.
We were hoping to get 10 done. Yeah.
Okay, only because I've seen this done in other cities, is those boxes are owned by PSC, right? Or are they owned by the city? Like, who owns them?
Yeah, it'd be.
I'm wondering if, because in other cities, I've seen them wrap boxes, if there was something from the electrical company, some kind of grant that we could propose.
We already have these, I'm sorry, Jan.
Yep.
Oh.
Over speaking you. This process has already been approved in the budget, so we could look forward for those grant opportunities for that in the future, but to get this mission accomplished that's been in the pipeline for a long time, JR is proposing this Plan B and C to everybody.
We're at ground zero. We had a Plan A. Plan A was to have a contractor wrap this. We needed 3 bids. We got 1, to which
I'm
it's
just
a.
saying, like in other states, other cities, I've seen them
But
do this, like.
That was not, that wasn't in our plan. We had a Plan A. We were banking on that. So Plan A is going to fail. So now Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, this is all back in we can do this. We can certainly reach out
Thinking
there.
about, since the bids are so high, I don't know if there's some kind of kickback or
Is that-
something from.
That's where we're going to vote right now. If we're happy
It's
with,
very high. What I just did this, $27.50 per box, that's a lot.
so I would say, I would propose that we not accept this bid and we go back to ground zero. And ground zero still means to look at, maybe we could go to find somebody else that could wrap if PSC, if there's grant money, other grant money available, we could look at that. Looking at the schools to see if they are interested in painting it. And then we have to reevaluate the whole thing and we can take that on in a separate workshop.
I have a question.
Go.
Ryan, I have a question about processes. So because this isn't a wrap, does this have to go all the way through council again? Or is it just art on a box and we're in a position to have a conversation with the school district should the commissioners agree to this Plan B, C?
Yeah, I get what you're asking. So, so what was put in the budget was funding to wrap the electrical boxes.
At 300 and something a box.
Yeah, and if we don't do a wrap, if we go with like say, an artist painting it, that potentially would change the life of it. I don't know if it necessarily changes the intent of what you're doing enough.
I mean, I'm just
to
talking
have to
about
go
the
back to
money that's
council.
already be budgeted.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, the process is obviously going to change as far as getting to the finish line. It's not a wrap, it's paint.
Right.
But
You know-
as far as the money sitting there approved, I
Yeah.
guess is more my
If you're not
question.
changing the amount, the scope of what you're doing really isn't changing. It's just,
Okay.
I guess, the median
Okay.
by which you're doing it. Does that change like the life expectancy of the project, which might affect future budget considerations? Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So let me check with legal. See, I would be really surprised if we have to bring it back to council. Maybe
Okay.
we can just update them on, hey, this is the direction we're going
Okay.
with it.
For today, the update is, we vote that we're not happy with this bid, and we go back to ground zero and figure out a way to get the boxes wrapped, painted, colored,
Artified.
artified. And that means what you said, that means looking at the school, we're back to looking at all sorts of different options.
Who painted the fire hydrants, like on Pioneer?
I can answer that because I painted one. It was a participation of community during a Main Street cleanup day. And they assigned groups and artists a hydrant. And they've lasted quite a number of many years, yeah.
I've been here for 6 years and they're still good.
So we're motion that we're back, we're not gonna take this bid, and we go back to planning, figuring out a plan how to get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I would look for a motion to basically formally reject the bid.
Reject it, I move that we reject this bid and
I
go
second
back to square one. Okay, we've got a second, Valerie, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's done. We'll figure it out,
Now,
yeah.
having said that, looking at the option of painting the electrical boxes, so Sandra did a little research into this and found that in some cities, artists are actually paying the city to be able to go and paint
Showcase
the
their
electrical
work.
boxes
That's
as a
what I'm talking
promotional. I don't.
I
don't-
second Carla to go out and start painting boxes.
You can make out the check to.
I do think it's a good idea too, although your original vision was to have the children involved with this, and I think the senior
That-
center already has artwork.
Right, and that was part of the intent to get the money released to go do this.
Now, that does change the scope, though, if we were going a direction like that, because this was a partnership with the school, right, to have the students put their art on the boxes. So whether it's, okay, we take that art and then we hire professional artists to recreate that art on the boxes, or we have an organization have the students actually do the art on the boxes, and then maybe we can put over a protective overlay to extend the life
Like I
of
said,
it.
we're back to ground zero.
So you have to have a conversation
We're,
with the
yep,
school.
there's nothing to do except start over again. So now we can move on to,
He's in a hurry tonight.
go ahead, Tracy.
So JR, I think maybe taking what Brian's saying is we probably need to make some kind of statement about how the budget is worded and stated, like we're going to leave it there until we have a further discussion, decide what we want to do, or we probably need to say something along those lines. Or have it removed and we're starting over, or however we want to.
To me, it's, go ahead.
I think either way, we have to have a thorough discussion about it.
Right, it doesn't matter, we're still, the intent is to still do the boxes. We don't know how it's gonna get done.
Until you talk with
Until we talk to numerous players again. We thought we had players, we don't. We don't have anybody to wrap them, so we have to find players.
And you're taking the lead on.
And I'll take the lead on this, and I'll take the lead to talk to the school, and Brandon, you and I will work, we'll, and actually, no, it's like, but this is another example, or this could be one of the things that we put on the new art plan, it's like, okay, how are we going to track this and what new milestones are we gonna put? We could talk about this at a workshop. Because right now, there's no sense in talk about it anymore. We got nowheres to go.
I also would say part of that conversation should be so that we don't keep making the similar decisions and ending up with the same situation again, is to how did we get here? So if we were counting on these to be 300 apiece and they're pricing out 2 years later at, you know,
Right.
at what?
Yeah.
Times 4, so we, or times 5, really. So are, you know, how did we get to
We
that?
don't, let's not, it is what it
No,
is,
no,
so
no.
don't worry about it.
What I'm saying, well, no, I know, I hear that a lot, but here's the thing. If you don't care enough to figure out kind of where things went, I don't want to say wrong, but they went unexpectedly, then you might keep repeating the same situation and not make it more efficient and improve upon the outcome to be more successful. So that's all I'm saying, is that should be a part of the discussion so that we're much more successful with situations like this.
Completely agree. When we start talking electrical boxes, we'll take all that into consideration. Yeah.
Well, and not to reflect on all the details, but in all of the players' defense, we didn't have a plan. And it caused a lot of delay in processes. So we're at a new point to start with things like this for tracking, right? Yeah. That's all I have to
Okay.
say. Thank you.
I will take the lead on electrical box wrapping. I don't know where I'm going, but we're going to make those things colorified, artistified, somehow, some way. Item B is the Whidbey Playhouse Lion's Head. Just as quick refresher on that, the Playhouse found a marble or granite lion's head in their storage, and they thought it'd be a great idea to put this thing out. Therese has been talking to them. I talked to them. I told them that now that we have an art plan, we'd like to know what their plan is, and they will start to generate a plan, and that would basically start to follow the steps that we want to outline in the strategic plan, or, you know, in the appendices of what you bring to us. How is the Art Commission going to be involved? What are you asking for? Because they don't know, but they do know that they want to do something with it. So that's the update. They haven't moved any further. It hasn't moved in there. Teresa's over there right now, so she's on top. She knows what that it exists. So that's the update on that. Item C, 7th Avenue Art Project discussion. So they're in discussion over there. I think they're talking about you.
No, we're just talking about budget and rollover of that project. But 7th Avenue art project discussion. So this was a proposal from an idea from our city engineer, Alex Warner. We have been doing beautification of 7th Avenue with tree plantings and some landscaping work on that project. This is one section of the active transportation plan that puts in a lot of multimodal connectivity throughout the city, providing bike pathways and pedestrian pathways. On 7th Street, the pedestrian pathway is actually segmented out from the main right-of-way with a nice border and curb. And so it's kind of this quite wide, just sort of blank canvas is what our city engineer saw, and wondered if there was an opportunity there. We saw some different examples of what something like that might look like. Let's see if I can. Share my screen
Do you have those pictures, Brian?
here. Yeah, I'm gonna
Fantastic.
pull this up.
I noticed you have sails all around your head here on the screen.
Yeah, Oak Harbor.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
They might be laughing, I'm not. I
See?
I am laughing on the inside, but I'm
Jared
not.
thinks it's cool. All right, so, maybe this is, I don't know if maybe this is could be a promotional marketing thing for like Chalk Fest. And, we go and do a bunch of stuff, or, a partnership with the schools and have like one of the elementary schools come and just do a whole bunch of, temporary chalk art, or we can do a spray paint chalk that lasts about 6 months to a year. The rain season eventually will wash away, or maybe a more permanent kind of installation and actually do something along there. But it's really just, I guess, an opportunity like many others for a public art space. That's all I really have, is just presenting it. The idea was brought up, and you wanted to bring it back to kind of have some discussion and some brainstorming around it, so.
Could we table further discussion on this to when we get to the point of a workshop, when we're listing future ideas and weighing out those identified projects? Just keep it on the list with like the bruiser and the totem, and so it goes through the same process with us?
Yeah, no, you have to make a decision right
Okay.
now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
We'll go out there, 8 a.m. Sophia.
Yeah.
Let's play paint the sidewalks. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it's whatever you want to do here. This was just pointing out an opportunity for your consideration and further, idea planning.
I think it's a great idea. I think it's great for community involvement. And maybe it's something that we do chalk-wise first, just to see how it goes and flows, and then do permanent painting or something later, or, I haven't seen it, I gotta check it out.
Another thought comes to my mind. I'll let you guys make some comments, but we're doing a lot of streetscape planning. Like I said, this is Northwest Whidbey Avenue was another one of these street renovations, and we're going to be doing a lot of these. We're also doing a lot of planning around the waterfront district, and Steve Schuler, our Public Works Director, has some nice renderings of that. And we had a good conversation about that, where, with all these redevelopment projects, we're finding what the community really cares about is, okay, this is awesome, but how do we soften it? How do we make it livable? How do we put in some greenery or some art, or make it aesthetically pleasing? It's very easy to go in and pave roads and create pathways and all these things, and that's what we do with 7th Avenue, and then afterwards, everyone kind of looked at it like, wow, this needs something. So engineering came to Brandon and said, hey, can you guys help us with this? We thought maybe the adjacent property owners would want to do something, and they're like, no, you guys take care of it. So I think maybe this lends itself to a larger discussion of the original intent of the Arts Fund was part of and connected with development projects. And how do we beautify and provide an element that makes these development projects attractive and something that's just not just a boring hardscape that doesn't look livable, but something that's inviting and that we're pleased to see and proud of, right?
I would hope that when we get to the point of a workshop, now that the plan is in place, that part of those discussions is our subcommittees. So we revisit the need of the existing subcommittees, because I would imagine the face of them will change a little bit. And with what you just introduced to us, maybe a new subcommittee or a new person to the table in those types of city development discussions is someone from our team to listen and bring back those opportunities as they pop up. And I thank Alex for doing that. I think that's great.
I know you want to say something inspiring, Tracy. Go ahead.
Well, couple things. I'm not picturing that space, and I apologize, as I don't know all of the areas really well still, but is it situated such, just for us, for brainstorming ideas, is it situated such that we only can do the road and sidewalks and things like that? Or, you know, we've got a landscape artist sitting right here that might also be able to incorporate, as you said, some more, beautification, softening with natural scaping, and maybe there's something really fun we can do with natural scaping from an artist standpoint. Or is it something where can we put this really creative water feature there? Or, see, just to kind of get a sense for what is possible and what is fittable in the situation.
So I know the area. It's naked. It's over where Office Max used to be and where Harbor Freight is now. It's that that's that road right there. That's what they redid. So there's a lot that can be done there. I'm just saying, like, I'd like some art in the middle of the street, considering it's June. That'd be kind of cool to see. But I mean, I know that's preemptive, and that would have to be on if we said, yeah, do that. I think there's a lot of landscaping options there for foliage and different things that can be added. It's open lighting there. It's very bright. There's not a lot of shade out there. So, I mean, you could add that for the sidewalks for sure. I am on the other side of Midway and 7th, but I've driven through there and I'm surprised that the one greenery landscaping company that's on the left side there didn't want to participate, but, you know, I'm not sure why.
Is there a water source? Like if you did plantings? Yeah, so it would have to be something that would, yeah.
And you'll be busy painting
Watering,
boxes.
yeah. Well, definitely landscaping would help it, I'm sure. I'm going to drive it tonight.
Here we go. I think I found some photos of it we can share here. Yeah, so this is 7th Avenue, and then you see over here on the right-hand side is this, pedestrian walkway. So it's kind of a sectioned off part of the road there. Right?
Is it also for bikes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And here's the other side of it. Now, at this point, the bike lane comes onto the road, and they've put markers down for it, but I imagine they'll extend it and keep it going at some point, but you see goes down a large part of that new paving. Yeah, so here it is coming up to it.
Nice.
You can see it.
Yeah, banners, poles, knitted pole covers.
Yeah, here's a good view of it.
It's pretty neat. But there's a lot of potential there.
Yeah.
And I can see what, yes, it's just all exposed to the light, which, that's a good thing for Washington State, but yet it could use a little something,
So It looks a little different than these pictures. You can see the Kinnickinnick that was in there. We have chip that we've installed on top of the Kinnickinnick. And then the majority of those planting beds do have trees in them. We have a bald-faced cypress, I believe is what it's called. It should be a more drought tolerant tree. It was something that we wanted to try, but we've got native plants around the corner of, I can't remember what that road is that you go on to Coochie. It might be Coochie Drive. I don't know. It's right on the corner there on the left. We've got native plantings around there, and we've got two more holes to fill out, but we've got some landscape in there. We went with a hardscape with rock and tree beds with some metal edging in between.
Need some color. Let's paint it.
So do we workshop it? Yeah, this is another one that it goes on the list. Which leads us now to strategic plan 1. My vision on talking about this today for the strategic plan and looking at the appendices and trying to eat this elephant would be, the first thing is we have people that are now, they're aware of the plan or becoming aware of the plan. So they're going to say, where can I go to read the plan? And then the next thing they're going to say is, I've got an idea. I want to fill out a form and hit submit. If we can walk out of here today with a better idea of what that would look like, that form, and being able to hit submit, and how that piece of paper gets into the system. And what that allows, that will allow us to, if it comes in any way, shape, or form, you know, even if it's handwritten, we've got to start and then plan the second phase where we'd start workshop. It would be, now that it's here, all these other forms that are in here, how do we populate that? Who's going to populate it? But if we could walk out of here today, like, what happens, where's that form, what should it say, and what happens when you hit submit? Does that sound like something that we could, I'm open for thoughts. We can't bite off everything today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure we can have it a complete discussion with the people who are missing. Like, it sounds like, and I don't know, Brian, if you can speak for people in the city, because it would be folks there that have, you know, once somebody, yeah, it has to do all the work.
Yeah, that's
And
the question we would
and-
throw
and
to
it-
you, Brian. Who is staff?
And it's great to hit submit, but then it also has to come out once it goes in. And it has to make it to us and not get stuck somewhere.
So if we could limit our discussion on that first step today, right in here now, I think we'd be in a good spot. Go ahead.
So as we were going through this, Brian, we had 4, now 5 with the 7th Avenue discussion. We had Maria McGee come in from the Phil Am Group and wanted to do something to add to the Friend Marsh area. Once the Gate of Inspiration came into play, we had the idea of Bruiser from our college student. We had our totem presentation, and there was a fourth
wood.
one. The
Jerry Oak.
Oh, that's right,
All the leftover wood.
the wood. And Liz at one point mentioned she'd be happy to introduce the forms once they had gotten approved by way of invitation to show the community members, we now have this form. Is staff in a position to do that?
I think they're still working on forms, and I know that Carrie Stuckey, the chair of the Parks and Recreation Commission, has volunteered to assist staff with the websites and getting those set up, so we've been working on getting that pushed forward as well.
Do you have an ETA?
I will see where they're at with the process. We're working with Mikhail. We keep running into some roadblocks of, okay, we're not able to create a new form here, so we're having to create brand new web pages and things like that. But I'll see if I can find an update on it and give you an update where we are.
Thanks.
Until it goes live, I'll use the word live, is there a way to contact our community members and let them use a form in PDF fashion? To kind of get, well, to get the ball rolling as far as testing our processes with our new plan?
Yeah, let me find out
Okay,
if we
thank
have
you.
something available.
Okay.
Because right now that form doesn't exist, but I know Tracy generated something, and I still have it here,
It's on the website.
the submission, the art plan.
Yeah, which has the appendices in it.
But if you look at the appendices, I don't see a form. For, I see forms for us to fill in, because look, if you're looking through this stuff, a sample call for art on Appendix 4 says complete, here's the application, one-page letter of interest describing why this project is of interest to you, summary of relevant professional expertise, a two-page resume, up to 3 professional references, a portfolio, and that's for an application.
It would be that part of it, and this part of it. So pages 6 and
So-
7, I didn't go through it
Yeah.
online.
But if
that
you-
would be it.
This would be the, but if this comes up and I open this up, if I'm gonna submit something and I open up that, there's no place for me to write anything on here, and it'd be nice if that form could be expanded or something so that they could fill it out, submit it, well, there's the keyword, submit, and it gets into the system. And when it shows up to us, and to be, the example was, if I've got it, was the good one that was submitted to us from Imagination Cove.
That's what I was gonna say, we missed that one. And I think another way to go back and look at other things that have been submitted to us is to go back to all of our
I-
public comments
I went to, I'll be,
that we had, and that could be a wait list.
went to Imagination Cove,
Interested already before we had it in place.
and I told them, I said, on your submission, we want a project description, the total program cost, estimated cost, fund requested, how will funds be used, who will be supported, time frame involved, plan for reporting back on results. And that was just for a request for materials. You know, it's a different request if somebody wants to do something for a talent show, or painting something, or putting in a new statue. And it's got to be broad enough so that people can fill that in here, and then it comes to us to start filling in, to prioritize it.
It's a tier of a call for artists. It's like materials, structures,
Because
events.
I'm seeing a difference between call for artists and somebody calling us.
Yeah.
Because a call for artists means we're looking for something, right? Well, now we're looking for something because we have an idea. But there are other people that have ideas, they're looking for help. How do they talk to us to look for help? And when they do, they can go to the website, and to me, that would be the big first step, because now stuff starts coming into us that we can prioritize. Because if we're looking at projects right now and like, oh, Bruiser and Wood, and we're like, yes, let's do this, and the budget's up, let's start paying, and then all of a sudden we find out somebody else has an even better idea and we don't have any money left, and it would have been even higher prioritized if we had had that in. And so that's where we need, we've all said, Brian, I hate to be the broken record on this, but it'd be nice to know who the staff person will be.
Yes, it would.
Okay. And does that mean that do we need to form on, just for this item, do we need to form like a subcommittee to start? Because if this isn't, if the staff is not there, do we need to form a subcommittee where it's like, okay, we'll start generating a form. Here's an idea for a form. Here's the information we think will work.
Well, we have those templates. I mean, that was all included in the art plan, right? So in the appendices, you have example forms of all those, right?
No, you do not. Well, well, yes, but I don't see a fillable form in there for somebody that's just walking in off the street to submit something. It's how to get, once it's to us, that we can deal with it. But yeah, go ahead.
Brian, does the staff that's being assembled to kind of put this online, do they need someone to work with them side by side from this committee?
Yeah, I think it would be very helpful to have like a little subcommittee to say, okay, yes, we want to have, this is how we want it to look, and yeah, just to have a little bit of that back and forth, to fine tune some of that stuff as we're actually working on it.
I'm in between work right now, so I'm going to say I can start to help with that immediately, so we can get that rolling. And if anybody else wants to join me.
You want in? Cynthia wants in. So let's call this, our first subcommittee is to try to get rolling on the appendice forms. Does that sound like a fair? I'm willing. Yeah, because she's gonna be busy painting. and wrapping trees. I'm free to start helping on that in August. I'm tied up all through July. So, but I'm willing to help on that, because this is another one that gotta be eaten. So that would be our first subcommittee, would be the appendix. Okay.
Got it down.
I think we're done with that for subcommittee update, or for the strategic plan. Now we can do for the subcommittee updates, or on the strategic plan, what's our workshop, when do we want to do a workshop?
That was my question.
I'll let you ask that question.
JR, when would you say is going to be our workshop?
Good question. I have no idea. We have to figure out when we can do this. And Brian, our goal is to do this workshop, and we were hoping to do it in your office. I don't know if it's still your office or it's the old office.
Yeah, the Parks and Rec office.
Yeah, we want
when
access
did
to that
our,
whiteboard.
like, priority workshop.
Yep.
Yeah.
We want access to that whiteboard,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay?
Do you want to have the whole commission there? Okay. Yeah, just give us a date, and so we can put notice out for it, and
I'm free in August. I'm
Yeah, I'll
not
make
free in
either.
July.
I'm pretty much free in August. Carla's painting, so she's,
I'm just taking kids to summer
Okay.
camps and sailing camps. That's all I'm doing.
I'd have to know when in
Okay.
August, but I think, yeah, I could be
okay,
available.
we'll plan on doing this in August, and we'll get a date firmed up.
So our regular session,
Yep.
sorry. Our regular session is August 14th, and I know I've asked this before. It'll be longer than 2 hours.
Yep.
Would August 14th with an earlier start or agree to go later work for everybody, since it's already in your calendars?
August 14th is a bad day for me, I won't be here, but I know.
Well, then the next one would be September 11th, unless you want to
Or
pick a
unless we
special
want to
date.
do it, unless we want to pick a special date.
JR, are you just gone on the 14th?
I am
or
just,
that whole week?
I'm going to be at the Great Wolf Lodge with my grandkids.
What about the
I'm-
day before, like?
I'm 12, 13, and 14, I'm at Great Wolf Lodge,
Okay.
so. But listen, I'm happy with, if everybody else is, because we won't get a date, a perfect date. It's gonna, if everybody's happy with the 14th and doing the, start it, let's go for it.
I think we can find a day that you guys can all be
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we should.
And weekday or weekend?
It would be the same, the 14th, but just earlier,
No.
correct?
No, he's gone. Or what was the dates you were at the?
I'm Great Wolf Lodge on 12, 13, and 14.
So how
of
about the
August.
16th on a Saturday morning?
Or the 15th. Are
Or
you
the
back that
15th.
Friday?
I should be back, I think, yeah.
You'll be exhausted.
I know. I spent a month last weekend babysitting my grandsons.
I feel more comfortable Saturday if we did like a brunch type thing or something.
Morning?
Yeah, like good morning.
Oh, yeah,
The
food.
16th?
Wake up.
Food.
She's looking for food.
Yeah,
I said brunch.
Okay, you want to try that?
I like it.
We can, are we still able to use Brian's office on a Saturday?
We're pushing staff now.
I'll be
into
in
overtime.
PJs with my cereal, but yeah. I'll take-
I was gonna say,
Well,
can we use
no, the question is, do we need you
No, we have a whiteboard at his.
just to
office.
open the door, right?
Yeah.
Or do we need you to go in there and babysit us?
If you don't do it during the weekday, the Public Works gate will be closed. I can get you guys in. Yeah, you will need me.
We need you to unlock the gate.
So what about Friday, the afternoon then?
I could do after 4:30. Dinner date.
Okay, the happy hour then, right? We'd have,
Frazier's.
we'd plan a lot better with alcohol.
15th?
15th.
15th. So Brian, will that take place of our regular session on the 14th if we schedule a workshop on the 15th?
Well, see, so that's a discussion we need to have if you're going to have a quorum for some of these dates. So it sounds like a couple of you are going to be gone in July, right?
I'm just gonna be gone July 21st through the 23rd. I'll be sold up.
So you're here for the July 10th meeting?
Yes.
I'm gone the whole month.
Boo.
Cynthia, are you here for the 10th, July 10th?
Yes.
Carla? Yes? Tracy? Okay, so if we have 4 of you, then we're okay. We
Okay.
have a quorum.
Yep. So that one's good.
And for August,
I was asking if we can move our regular session to the workshop date of the 15th.
Oh, just me here.
No,
Oh, so
Uh,
we
right.
have Parks and-
yeah,
yeah? Just move it the one day over?
yep, at 4:30.
Sure. Can make a note of that.
Or what's the possibility of the interpretive center?
It doesn't have the whiteboard, does it? I like Brian's office.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Okay.
I got drinks.
That's what I mean, he's got,
Maybe not the kind you're thinking of, but
he's got free stuff that we can take.
I'll order some dinner and we'll
Yeah.
go to work.
All right,
So we can say 4:30 to 7:30 and see where we're at by 7:30?
So we'll put notice out that our normal meeting will be canceled. We will do a special workshop at the Parks and Recreation office at 1400 16th Avenue on Friday at 4:30. We'll tentatively plan for 2 hours.
3.
3. I might be even 2 minutes late to my lunch, but I'll be first. I work.
I'm just thinking 3 hours is a long time to record, so.
and for those listening in TV land, they're discussing the legality of recording if we work more than 2 hours. If anybody watches our meetings more than 2 hours, please comment on Facebook. I would love to find out who you are.
Are you wanting to hold the regular meeting at the time as well, or are you just wanting to focus on the strategic?
Just want to focus on that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, then we're good.
Okay?
So then do you open it up for the public for just a workshop, or? is it
No, we
work-
just have to provide notice that you'll have a quorum there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they have to attend if they want to.
Okay.
Which,
We're good.
we'll work
Huh.
through the logistics.
So does the newly formed appendix subcommittee have an update? All right,
Yes, we're going to be changing our name.
okay. So, previously, we did have an outreach subcommittee, then we were talking about the art plan subcommittee. I still think that we're still in an outreach stage. We had, the meeting at the chamber was good. It was, I still have some of the art that people submitted for drawing the acorn. So, but who's next? I don't know if anybody has an idea of, a suggestion of who would be next. Yes.
Oh, you mean for outreach?
Yeah, if we were going to outreach to somebody else, or, you know, at least to go forward on, to let people know about the art plan. If anybody has ideas.
I was thinking the summer camps, all of the summer camps in the area.
I don't know what they would do with that information.
The kids, the art, they could be doing something or
No,
have
I
ideas for
wasn't
that.
I was talking about like letting everybody know that we have an art plan and what the art plan is and isn't and how they can get involved.
Fourth of July festival, the parade.
Why don't we talk about it at the workshop?
There we go. We'll talk about it at the workshop. Okay.
Well, and I would suggest Main Street maybe, joining
Yeah.
one of their meetings.
Because I know, like, the Main Street came here one time, the Playhouse came here one time, and I don't know if, this is just letting people know that we have an art plan. Okay,
We can have a road show.
then we move on to item F, Parks and Rec Director updates.
Don't have a whole lot, other than just making you aware that we are doing site visits with consultants for the RFP for the Recreation Center feasibility study. We had made an ask to section out a portion of those funds for a feasibility study for an art center. That was denied by the Department of Ecology, by the state. But it is something that I am mentioning and having those discussions with the consultants about, that there's a community desire for that, whether that's included in a civic center, rec center kind of a space, or a space for performances. Maybe it's not a full-out performance hall, but having like a multi-purpose cultural hall, kind of a room that has a stage that can do different things like that. So just be aware that that process is going forward. Once we get a consultant on, we'll be having interviews with several of the commissions, including the Art Commission, just get feedback on what those spaces look like. I know just community gathering areas where we can have special events and things like that is a big need in our community. We have very few precious spaces like that fill that role. So that will definitely be a talking point. Yeah, Cynthia.
Can I put on a different hat here?
Yeah.
So the Oak Harbor Creative Arts Foundation is still actively moving forward with two of their initiatives, one of which is to see a performing arts and event center built in Oak Harbor. And I believe that the director, Larry Mason, is on that committee, Brian, for the rec center study. So we'll have that voice at the table to see where things overlap. We have received 2 grants towards our $35,000 goal, so we're almost halfway there. We had hoped to have it done by June to contract with a consulting team. The first baby step we see necessary for the feasibility study that we'd like to do is to prove community buy-in and donor capacity for that. So all of these big things with what's going on with the rec center, I know overlap. So I know that Larry's anxious to continue that relationship with that group. And what else did I want to add to that? I think that will be it already, but yes. And, I should say, our art plan surveys show that those same results that you just went through for public spaces. So that's something that the Oak Harbor Creative Arts Foundation is aware of too, of what's been done at this level. So there, my hat's off now.
Awesome. Great.
Curious
Yes.
why it was denied. But they didn't give her a reason.
I was the one that asked for the money. It was within the details of the award from the state to the city, not being able to just give it out to another entity for it. And it came from that, what division at the state? It was like the economics department or
Yeah,
something.
Department of Commerce.
Thank you, thank you.
Our summer day camp program starts on the 23rd, and the first few weeks are full. We're doing really well with registrations. I'm sure that they would love to do some fun artsy things with the camp, so we can have those discussions with Craig and Liz if you have some ideas around that. The Pirates and Mermaids event is on the 28th. That'll be down there at Windjammer Park. And then, of course, we have 4th of July, and we're currently in the middle of planning with the Chamber of Commerce around that. Our activity guide will get into that in full steam right after the holiday, July 4th holiday. So we'll be connecting with you guys on the Art Commission page, as well as our programs and special events and other things that we want to kind of push forward there. So give that some thought if there's something that we want to highlight as far as the strategic plan with the art plan rollout and initiatives that you might want to market. That's a great opportunity. It goes to every single household within the 98277 area code, zip code. Let's see. I think that's. Do you have anything, Brandon? No, I think that's it from us.
Okay. Member comments? Tracy, got anything? No. Going right down the word. Tracy, you got anything?
I'm just curious if we've had any bites on our open position.
Yeah, so JR and I just interviewed a candidate who had applied for the vacancy right before the commission meeting, and that those recommendations all go to the mayor. The mayor makes the final decision on those. He's bringing his recommendations for appointment to council on July 1st. So after that meeting, at that meeting, we should have an appointee selected.
Thanks.
Good question. I had written that down. I was going to mention that. So, Carly, you got anything? Cynthia, you got anything?
I just want to comment that JR and I met with Maggie Aguilar, our communication officer, and talking about points of ideas on just what we're up to, what's the commission's up to in your guide, and I know that there's 10 other commissions that want to start getting communication out to the community about who we are and what we're doing. So talk to Maggie about what kind of broad scope she might have as communication officer. Could it be a newsletter? Could it be a featured blurb on the website? Where we're rotating and it's consistent. So that dialogue has begun.
Okay.
Wait, one more. Sorry, one more, I forgot.
Go ahead.
Sounds of Summer concert series is all in order. The lineup's been released, and it starts at the end of July and will run every Wednesday through, not all the way, up until the week of the music festival. So check it out.
Some of them are agreeing on 7th Avenue watching Carla paint, right?
No, I just wanted to say thanks to Parks and Rec too. I've been out at the angel statue recently, and how you have the rocks positioned around the statue and how the grass is starting to fill in at that. It looks really good. It looks really great. So thanks.
How long have you lived here?
Too busy in Mexico.
the only comments I have, because the way the art plan is, these meetings should be more concise, shorter, and focused, excuse me, so that, you know, and when we have the workshop, the workshop immediately, there should be something, what are we gonna put, let's put that on the agenda, because we want a decision on it, so that we don't have to do a lot of talking around back and forth, and even though, because we aren't, this is the only place that we're meeting, right? So now we have the workshop will allow us to focus on something and then bring it forward. And saying that, determination of future agenda items, I'm looking back at the agenda that we have right now, where you have, okay, the electrical boxes, the Playhouse, the Lionhead, 7th Avenue Art Project. Do we leave those on the agenda? This is a question I'm asking. Do we leave them on the agenda to say nothing significant to report and move on? And so that it stays focused that way? Or do we have it on a separate, so we could, if we're going to put, these things exist right now, we can leave them on the agenda, and if it says nothing significant to report, then that's where we end the discussion on it, or something. And is that, I don't, I'm just asking.
I would say with the exception of leaving off 7th Avenue, because it sounds like we were thinking of rolling that in as an overall discussion about the beautification projects and how to approach them. But, that's just one thought.
I'm just open for suggestions or thoughts.
My suggestion would be leave it as is, because this has been our process up to this very point. And until we work through forms and tracking with what has been suggested by Framework, this is our tool.
Yep. Okay. So, and then the other question on that agenda would be, because if we're going to talk about eating this elephant, we took a little bite forward on the appendices. What's strategic 2? This was strategic 1. Workshop is strategic 2. So the next meeting, we don't have a strategic.
Well, it
Dis-
might come out of the workshop.
Might come out of there, but the other thing that I would throw, and I asked Brian, with Sandra talking about because we still wanted to get smart on the fiscal end of things.
Could she come to the workshop?
Yeah, you want to do a training on procurement process? Yeah, I think we've been playing that for most of the commission, so yeah, we will get that scheduled.
Okay.
Were you saying you want that as part of the workshop? You want that as a regular meeting?
Well, if she could have a little spot at the top of the workshop, that'd be fantastic. Maybe we kind of, or do you want it separate?
Yeah, I think it needs to be separate, because I think it's going to get complex.
Yeah,
I
I might
think
do
we
it
need to
separately.
Divide the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's something that, we gotta eat that one too.
Maybe another agenda item would be the promotion or marketing and getting the word out. Maybe having that as a topic, maybe Maggie's
Okay.
ideas or.
We'll just call that visibility, yeah. Procurement. Okay. Anybody else we're done here. We ain't ready. You guys want to quit? Hey, should I loosen this? Would that be cool to loosen the gavel so when the mayor comes in and bangs it or whoever's sitting in the thing goes flying? Would that be cool?
Well, except that we'd have to cut that out of the recording.
Oh, we're still recording. Never mind. That's a dumb idea. Don't do that. I'm tightening this thing. You can't undo this. It's tightened. All right. Do I have I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I will make a motion that we adjourn.
Anybody second that?
I'll second that.
Okay. All in favor? Okay, we're going to adjourn